All right, welcome to 4.3. Now, for those that may have taken this class before and didn't do well, you're probably saying, wait a minute, we didn't have to do this much in MindTap before. Yeah, and you didn't have the videos either or anybody walking you through these assignments. I added these in for a number of reasons. One, the primary reason was rather than skipping over, like we'll just jump from 2 to 5. You can't jump from 2 to 5 because right here it says be sure to reuse your solution from 4.2 as your starter file. Now, this may not have what you need from 4.2 because if we look at it, is everything we need here? Is this our 4.2 solution? It's not. It's far from. The get and set are not here. We created them, they worked, but now they're not here for whatever reason. So we got len, string, we got the iteration that'll allow us to go through for item in the array. Go over, I've got my code from the previous one, which was in here. It's just those three functions. Put a little space in there so we've got some white space. Our get, set, and size functions. So you may want to close this, go back, grab those three. The other thing we did up above, logical size was there. So they didn't make us rewrite that. But we did need get item, set item, and size. They did tell us, hey, you need stuff from before, but they're not saying what. That's why I'm adding these in, but I'm not adding them in without the help of being able to get through them. An explanation of why we do what we do. So we need to create two new functions. So we're going to create, I'm going to create the first one here. So def grow self I'll end that function for now. Def, and the other one was shrink self colon. I'll put an end there for now. Now if you remember from before, end just means, you know what, I defined a function, and when I say from before, it would have been from those videos that I created before in the function for the COP3030, the notebooks that I created, in the videos that are in the notebooks. In the functions lesson, I covered this of, we put in end so that this code will run as it stands now. Without end, it's going to say, wait a minute, you can't define something without either doing something or saying we're done here. And that's what that is. So I could run it. It threw the errors that it threw before. So it did everything that it was supposed to. It doesn't like my end. Why is it not liking my end in there? Is it the case? No. We'll skip that for now. Let's actually go address those. Add the fill value to the new cells in the underlying list. add the fill value to the new cells in the underlying list. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me what they're talking about here. Got a method, add the fill value. Is this a variable? Not saying necessarily what it is. So there should be some fill value associated with that function. Do we have a fill value anywhere else? We do have a fill value up here. And I do not recall that from the previous iteration. Might have been there, or this could be something they've added in. So we're going to track the capacity and the fill value for the adjustments. So here's capacity and here's fill value. They're coming in on the constructor. So we do have those values coming in, and now they're variables within the object. So that's what we've got to add into our array. So fill value, let's think about what that is. Fill value is what's being passed in. So in the previous module and in this module, I talked more in module 3 lecture, I talked about using that array class to increase or grow the size, the physical size of the array. Growing the physical size of it, that's the easy part. We just pass in a larger number to capacity. But then we have to take what we've got in the existing array and pass it in fill value. And now here in the grow section, what we're going to do is we're going to write item by item what comes in fill value. So let's say for we use count in range, and I want the length of this array that we're dealing with. So how big is this thing that has been declared? Now, for item in this, we're going to go through it, or for count in range lens self. I want to, in this object, this array, I want the items, I don't want that there yet, dot append, so I'm going to invoke the append function, and I want to pass it whatever's in fill value. So this should write the contents of our old array to our new array. And it's only looking at our old array fill value. What's coming from the old array is, that's what our fill value is. Or it could be we're creating a new one and saying, here, populate it with this. So it's about the same thing. Now, let's deal with the shrink side of it. So the shrink side of it. So shrink the size by half, but not below the default capacity. Alright, so I need a new size. It's going to equal max self. I want the capacity. And I want the length of this thing too. I want to divide it by 2, but I don't want any fractionals. Now let's come down, and we're going to kind of do the same thing we did here for this 4 count. I'm going to say 4 count in range. We have before, it's our length. And for len minus new size, so I'm going to cut it in half. The new one's going to be half the size of the old one. And I want to take the items and I want to pop them out. Alright. So here we're going to say self dot items dot, and we'll invoke the pop function. Let's see. Got a typo on line 68, and I think it's because I didn't use an uppercase V. Now I know it is. Let's run it, see if I throw those errors. I did not throw those errors that time. When it went and ran these things, let's see, in the main, create one that's 5 long, we did, grow, it doubled, shrink, oh, it doubled twice. The second double, I don't even have enough space, it wrapped on me. So it doubled again, shrunk by half, shrunk by half again, and then printed it one more time. Let's see. Do we evaluate good? I made it through both of them. So we're good there. We're doing this increasing and decreasing. All in the same class. Now, I just don't know if it's actually doing what I want it to do, and I could go through and check in memory to literally go pull the memory addresses for each item that's in there to see, is this the type of memory that it's supposed to be? And I'm probably just worrying about something that's really a non-issue. They're wanting us to get familiar with Python, get familiar with object-oriented programming, have an understanding of the concepts that take place when we're growing and shrinking these arrays. So let's pop on over to 4.4 or 4-4 from here.